Stefanie, so you give about a 75% chance that Congress will pass tax reform and a 60% chance that they're going to do it in this quarter, in the fourth quarter. Are those numbers rising for you?
Thanks so much for having me. They will go pretty high if the Senate can pass this bill on the floor, if it happens tomorrow or early in the morning on Friday. Those numbers will go way up. But I need to see the Senate actually pass this first. Where they are right now is exactly where the Senate was with ACA repeal earlier in the summer. They made it this far, and it was on the next major vote on the Senate floor during this reconciliation process that we saw Senator McCain, Senator Collins, and Senator Murkowski end up voting to kill ACA repeal. So I don't think we're quite there yet, but obviously I'm very bullish, and I think it's very doable.
Right. We're not quite there yet, but do you think that we could encounter, could this be Obamacare 2.0 here in the Senate?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why we'll be able to look back on this in a month and say that it made sense either way. I think at the end of the day, all the members on the Republican side in the Senate really want to make this happen. You see Senator Corker, we were talking about this earlier on the program, looking at that trigger option to try to help him justify a vote as someone who cares deeply about the deficit. So I see them working very intently to try to make it possible, but every one of these issues that they raise could raise other issues, other problems on the floor.
Right.
And so it's unclear. But I think the intent, the will is certainly there. So there's likely going to be a way.
Indeed. And Stefanie, it seems like some of the big issues we thought, like the SALT deduction, the individual mandate in the ACA, those have been largely resolved. So what do you think is going to be the biggest sticking point now?
So I actually don't see a major sticking point between the two chambers. I think that was a worry with SALT or even with ACA. ACA, interestingly, I think has brought a few senators to the table. Senators Collins and Murkowski may end up getting a commitment on individual market stabilization in exchange for a vote to repeal the individual mandate as part of tax reform. So I actually think it ends up winning their votes. I think the real issue is just, can the Senate get to a compromise among itself? If that's possible, I don't see any real issues between the two chambers that are unresolvable.